Lesson 2.4 is on solving equations with variables on both sides. A lesson objectives: to rewrite an equation with variables on two sides as an equation with variables on one side, and to solve two-step equations and multi-step equations. Alright, so we are going to begin by identifying which coefficient is smaller. So this is going to be important to know when we have variables on two sides of an equation. So coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So we have a 2 and we have a 10. So which coefficient is smaller? The 2. In this example, we have a -4 and a -6. Which coefficient is smaller? The -6 is smaller. Here we have a -3 and a 3, so the -3 will be smaller. And then here, if you don't see a number next to the variable, it's understood to be 1. So this would be a 1x, and this would be a -1x. So which one is smaller? -1. Okay. In the next part, it says, what are the 5 steps for solving equations? So I would like you to hit pause. Go back and look at the prior guided notes for this unit and copy down the 5 steps for solving equations in this box. Alright, so in part B, we're going to use that 5-step process to solve the following multi-step equations. We're going to show all of our work. Alright, so the first thing that we want to check to see if we can do is distribute within the equation. So if we look at number 1, there's no distribution that's going to take place. Alright, so then we go to the second point. And the second point is, alright, can you combine like terms on either the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the equation? If we look at the left-hand side here, we have a 4x and a 2. Those are not like terms, so we cannot combine those. And the same thing on the right-hand side, we have a 3x and a -7. Those are not like terms, so we cannot combine. Alright, now the next step, the third point, is we want to look to see if we have variables on each side of the equal sign. So here we have a 4x and here we have a 3x. Alright, so the 4x is on the left hand side, the 3x is on the right hand side. So we have to get them to the same side. Now, it says in the notes in prior unit that we subtract the smaller one, or we will move the smaller one. Alright, so we have a 4x and a 3x. Well, which one is smaller? That's going to be the 3x. So that's what we'll move. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. And the reason we move the smaller one is because we want our variable to be positive. If we can, it'll save us a step. So the 3x and the -3x cancel. So we are left with 4x minus 3x. So we're left with x plus 2 equals -7. Alright, we got to get x by itself. So the next point that we want to check is to get rid of the addition, use inverse operation to get rid of addition and subtraction. So we have a +2, so we're going to subtract 2. So we have x equaling -9. Right, so this is our solution. Now we can check to make sure that solution is correct by plugging it back in and making sure the left-hand side equals the right-hand side of our equation. So 4 times -9 plus 2 does that equal 3 times negative 9 minus 7? So we're going to have negative 36 plus 2, so we're going to have a negative 34 on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to have a negative 27 minus 7. And that's a negative 34. So the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So x equals negative 9 is a solution. Alright, let's look at the next one. Number 2. So again, our first point to check to see if we can do is distribute. We cannot in this problem. So the next point is, can we combine like terms on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the equal sign? The answer to that question again is no. A 14 and a 7n are not like terms. A 14n and a positive 28 are not like terms, so we cannot combine. Point number 3. Do we have variables on either side of the equal sign? Well, on the left-hand side we have a 7n. On the right-hand side we have a 14n. So we are going to move the variable with the smaller coefficient. So we're going to move the 7n. Alright, so we're going to subtract 7n from both sides. So we have 14 equals 14n minus 7n is 7n plus 28. We got to get the 7n by itself. So the next point is to use use inverse operations to get rid of addition or subtraction. So we got to get rid of this addition here by subtracting 28 from both sides. So we're going to have negative 14 equals 7n. And then we'll divide by 7n, because now we want to use inverse operations to get rid of the multiplication and division. So this is multiplication here, 7 times n. So we're going to divide by 7 both sides. So n is going to equal negative 2. Right, we can make sure that that is the correct answer by plugging it back into the equation, making sure the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So we're going to have 14 plus 7 times negative 2. Does that equal 14 times negative 2 plus 28? Alright, so we have 14, and then 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. So 14 minus 14 is 0. Does that equal, here we're going to have negative 28 plus 28. That's 0. So 0 equals 0. This checks out. N equaling negative 2 is a solution. Okay, we're going to do one more problem. So we're going to go to this kind of the second set and do number 11. Alright, so the first thing you want to check to see if you can do is distribute. Okay, that's kind of checkpoint 1. And in this problem we can distribute. As a matter of fact, there's 2 spots where we can distribute. Here and here. So let's do the one on the left-hand side of the equal first. So we're going to distribute this negative 1 to the x and to the negative 3. So negative 1 times x is a negative x. A negative 1 times a negative 3 is a positive 3. Alright, now distribute the 4 here. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 7 is negative 28, and then plus 4. Alright, the next point to check, can you combine like terms on each side of the equal sign? On the left-hand side of the equal sign, we cannot. So we're just going to rewrite negative x plus 3. Those are not like terms. On the right-hand side of the equal sign, though, we have a negative 28 and a positive 4. We can combine those. Those are like terms. Those are both constants. And negative 28 plus 4 will give us a negative 24. Alright, now, next point to check. Do we have variables on both sides of the equal sign? Well, we have a variable on the left-hand side, and we have a variable on the right-hand side. So what do? You look at the variable with the smaller coefficient. In this case, the negative x. It's a negative, so negative 1 is less than 4. So we're going to move the negative x. So we're going to add x to both sides. Okay. Again, the reason why we move the smaller one is to keep to get the variable positive. It saves us a step. Right. So it's not like, so if you move the 4x, I mean you would still get the right answer. You would just be adding a step. So by moving the smaller one, you save a little bit of work for yourself. Alright, so negative x plus x cancels, so we're left with 3 on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And then 4x plus x gives us 5x minus 24. Okay, now we're going to use, go to the fourth point, use inverse operations to get rid of the addition or subtraction. So we're going to get rid of the subtraction here by adding 24 to both sides. So we have 27 equals 5x. And then we're going to divide to get rid of the, so we have 5 times x. To get rid of the multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by 5. So x equals 27 fifths. Okay, so if you take 27 fifths and plug it back into the equation, you will get the left-hand side equaling negative 2.4, and you will get the right-hand side equaling negative 2.4 as well. So that will check out. Okay, so those are all the example problems that we are going to do. What I want you to do is finish the problems that we did not complete on this worksheet, and have those ready for class tomorrow. You know what? Don't worry about. We will actually do the problems that we did not finish here on the video. That we'll do those in class tomorrow. So all you have to do is just watch this video and just take the guided notes. We'll do the rest of the problems in class tomorrow.